Assalamu alaikum. I am Sarwar Jamal, lecturer in computer science from Sir Syed Government Girls College. This is my sixth lecture of BCS fifth semester course Files and Database. Before proceeding to today's lecture, I would like to thank our honorable and well-esteemed principal, Professor Halda Parveen, for her ceaseless support and active assistance. After completing today's lecture, students, you will be able to define data independence and the type of data independence, logical data independence and physical data independence. You will be able to differentiate between logical data independence and physical data independence. Now, what is data independence in three schema architecture? In our previous lecture, we discussed a very important and fundamental topic of database systems, the three-tier architecture and the three-schema architecture with all its three data abstraction layers, external layer, conceptual layer, and internal layer respectively. Basically, it is one of the main important objective of the three schema architecture to provide data independence. So we can say data independence is the characteristic feature of three schema architecture. It is the outcome of three-layer architecture. So we will explore what is data independence. It is the capacity to change the schema at one level of a database system without having to change the schema at the next higher level is known as data independence. Okay, students, when a database is designed, created, deployed, and populated in any organization, and as the system grows, it is possible that user requirements may change with the passage of time, or certain changes need to be done either at internal level or conceptual level. So these changes in lower level do not affect the upper level. So this is the main theme or the concept of data independence. How many types of data independence types are there? There are two types of data independence: logical data independence and physical data independence. Logical data independence. It is the capacity to change the conceptual schema without having to change external view or external schema or the application programs. So basically, in the logical data independence, it provides the immunity of the external schema to change in the conceptual schema. Users can be shielded from changes in the logical structure of the data, or users at external level can be shielded from changes in the choice of relations to be stored, how the different relations are stored. So no matter how the arrangement is lying in the database, there will be no effect at the external level. So what type of changes can be made or are allowed at the conceptual level? Changes such as addition of new record types, new data items, new relationships should be possible without affecting existing external views, or the conceptual level shows relationships among data including constraints and semantic information. So we will see we can add, modify, delete a new attribute, entity, or relationship is possible without a rewrite of existing application programs, and merging two records into one, breaking an existing record into two or more records, or changing the constraints. Again, we have the three-tier architecture example here. We can see the external schema, the topmost schema, the conceptual or the logical schema, and the internal schema. Here we can see the logical data independence is present at the conceptual and the external level. Whatever changes are made at the conceptual representation or at the logical representation of conceptual level, what are the different changes that can be made? Changes in the entity, addition, insertion, deletion, modification in the entities, attributes, and relationships and their constraints. So any type of changes made at the conceptual level, these changes will not affect the external view or the external schema. Is external view or external schema is immune to these changes. So this is the main point of logical data independence. Now, if we talk about internal schema or the physical data independence at this internal schema, so what are the different changes which can be done? The different changes can be the changes in the data structures, in the file organizations, or changes in the storage devices. So any changes made at the internal schema will not affect the upper two levels, the conceptual level and the external schema level. So this is the physical data independence. Now we will see from an example, as we all work on Google Gmail account or any other product of Google. We use Facebook or any website or any online banking facility or any online service. So all these web-based applications keep updating their structures of database time to time, but all these changes do not affect on users interface or page. Whenever we want to view, we can view it easily, as we can see that. Whether you are keeping track of corporate accounting records, storing huge amount of data from a network of Internet of Things devices, tracking your company's inventory system, or building a web application or database allows multiple users to update, edit, and maintain a store of information quickly, securely, and efficiently. So whatever changes are made at conceptual level, so all these changes will not affect external schema, and whatever changes are made at internal schema, these changes will not affect the upper two levels, the conceptual schema and external schema. Now here we have one more example of logical data independence. We can see here we have a relation. As we know, relation in a relational database management system is a two-dimensional table. Here we can see how the information is stored. We can see the different field names or the set of attributes, line, student ID, student name, course number, major, and credits. And the data is populated in the table. This is the logical representation of an entity from the real world, that is the student. As we can see, if we want to delete a record or we want to delete a complete field, so we can see how the fields are deleted. If this deletion takes place at the conceptual level, then there will be no change at the external level. So this is the main point of this, logical data independence. We have one more example. Here we have two relations, student and class, and we can see the set of attributes. Here, one of the most tremendous feature, the referential integrity and the foreign key concept and the primary key concept. Due to this, the records can be fetched or accessed from two relations, and we can receive merged records from two different tables. So this is also possible at the conceptual level, and there will be no effect at the external view level. Again, this is logical data independence. Now, what is physical data independence? Physical data independence is the ability to modify the inner schema without having alteration to the conceptual schema or application program. So basically, this is the ability to change the physical schema without changing the logical schema. You want to make changes in the internal level, but there will be no change at the logical schema level. This is called physical data independence. For example, a change to the internal schema, such as using different file organization or storage structures or storage devices or indexing strategy, should be possible without having to change the conceptual or external schema level. So these changes are allowed. Now we can see which type of alterations in the internal schema might include. We can see now, any organization may switch from hard disk to solid state drive. It is significantly faster because older hard disk storage technologies run slower. We know that. So solid state drives speed up computers, data access, and retrieval significantly due to their low read access times and fast throughputs. So that is why if organization may shift from hard disk to solid state drive, it will be a good decision. And due to this change at the physical level, there will be no harm at the two upper levels, conceptual and the external level. Now let's talk about the changes in the data structures at the physical level. So we have different types of data structure mechanisms: stack, linked list, and tree, and B tree. So these are the different data structure mechanisms. Any organization wants to change the structure of the file or the data organization, how the data is stored or arranged at the abstract level. So if organization replaces one data structure from the other data structure, or organization is using a stack and wants to move to tree or the B tree for better performance, then there will be no effect at the external and at the conceptual level. Now, using different file organizations and access methods for storage structures and modifying indexes. So we have file organizations, including sequential file organization, index sequential file organization, and direct file organization. Any organization may switch from sequential access to index sequential access method at the physical level. And again, there is the physical data independence property, and due to this change, there will be no harm or effect to the external level and to the conceptual level. So basically, the physical data independence. What happens at the physical data independence? Whatever changes are modified or made at these level, modifications at physical level are necessary occasionally to improve the performance. It means we change the physical storage or level without affecting the conceptual or external view of the data, and the new changes are absorbed by mapping techniques. So today we completed the very most important topic, the data independence and its types: logical data independence and physical data independence. So inshallah, we will come up with more important topic. Thank you, students.